Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and we're going to finish up Moonstone Mountain. And the easiest way to finish up Moonstone Mountain is to walk through these doors right here. And by easiest way, I mean only way. Notice that this doorway is completely reinforced. As we walk in, you'll notice that this room is, just a wee bit big. It's very big, it's very empty, and even Aka's able to see that, which is, means it's very, very obvious, too. Vice doesn't want to stick around long enough to find out what this room is made for, and all of our heroes just kind of stand there and do absolutely nothing, while DeLoco watches from a gigantic room with an observation deck just above this room. You gotta wonder why our heroes never look up and see any of this stuff directly above them. DeLoco's delighted that they have made it this far, he's impressed, but they shall die for what they did with his chameleon. Oh yes, they will, yada yada yada. It's his normal thing, he's just muttering to himself again. You'll notice that there's spikes on the ceiling, and you don't have to see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom to understand exactly where this is going. DeLoco continues to watch, the heroes continue to not see what's going on up there, and DeLoco comments that all the slaves that have run away from him have died in this room. Apparently it funnels directly to here, and he wants to hear Vice scream. He's going to go ahead and flick his switch, get his revenge, and flip that very, very large lever, and then stuff happens. As you might expect, the one person who could screw it all up, Alfonso, has showed up to gloat and to try to take out Vice himself, and introduces himself again. I don't know why he feels he needs to introduce himself again, but hey look, there he is. He came here to watch us die, so that would make you think he knew what DeLoco is up to, but unfortunately no. DeLoco and him are not working together, and DeLoco comments that if he's in there, he will not be able to crush them. Personally, I would just crush Alfonso with them. And he comments that someone of his stature doesn't deal with filth like us personally, and Antonio 2 on us. Yes, Antonio 2, not Antonio the Second, 2. That tells you exactly how many of these things he's had. You typically don't tell your failure rate to your latest conquest. You know, it's not something that you do. So we have a new boss. Now I'm going to preface this by saying two things. One, this is the exact same boss we fought for the first boss of the game. And two, he is pretty much just as easy. We're probably going to have very little trouble with him, especially because we're going to do what I did last time, and we're going to start everybody off with a Glyph of Might to ensure that we have increased damage and decreased damage taken for the remainder of the fight. Just going to waste my entire turn on doing this. I don't really care what he does. You know, he can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to bother too much about it. So everybody will go ahead and use Glyph of Might, and we'll see whatever Antonio 2 decides he wants to do. You know, and of course, at the very start of this episode, we were at a save point that was very out of the ordinary. It was in the middle of nowhere, right in front of a door. You know, it was obvious that there would be a fight here, so I, of course, you know, apart from knowing that there was a fight here, healed everybody up beforehand. So we're ready for this. Skies of Arcadia really does telegraph its boss fights very, very clearly, so it's always easy to see exactly when a new one's going to come up. So Antonio is going to use the Thunder of Fury attack. It's an AoE electricity attack, has a cone-shaped area of effect, does a fair amount of damage, but, you know, that's about it. I'm going to let Vice do just a normal attack. Aka is going to do a normal attack. Fina is going to focus. And I'm going to make sure that Drachma switches over to the, switches over to the Mace Hand, because I want him to have the very high base damage. And then he's going to use Tackle every turn. Because he is using the Mace Hand, he's going to have very high base damage. And because Tackle is a special ability and not a basic attack, hit percentage doesn't really matter. It's a guaranteed hit unless something would prevent it from going off, like Drachma's death or something like that, which is very unlikely to happen. So Drachma's just going to deal 15 damage right off the cuff. And Antonio's just going to attack. Now, keep in mind, he does have a pretty high base attack. I mean, 183 is nothing to scoff at. But, remember, you know, Drachma does have the ability to counterattack, as he just did, and that's a pretty big deal. And notice that... Ah, crap, I forgot to tackle. Notice that we're already in victory music. We already have this guy down to half health within 2 turns, and we'd probably be able to kill him this turn if I didn't... You know, if I hadn't failed to tackle this turn. He's a really, really easy boss. I guess this guy's meant to be more of a joke boss than anything. Now, do keep in mind, Thunder of Fury on Fina is a bit of a terrifying prospect, because that's half of her health right there. You could very easily lose Fina in this fight if you don't, you know, remain very careful about her. But we're going to make sure that that stupidity ends right now. Fina's going to heal herself, because I don't trust the game not to just flat-out nuke her. And everybody else is going to use their strongest special attacks, and we're just going to end this right now. It's just about that easy. What you can always do is, you know, equip Drachma with your most powerful attack at this point, and then just over and over and over use tackle, and all you have to do is have Fina focus every turn, and everybody else will be free to do whatever the hell they want, including, there's a 1334 Cutlass Fury on this guy. But yeah, you can have everybody else just attack, heal, do whatever they want, and Drachma can tackle every turn if you have Fina focusing, and that's just a lot of damage. This guy went down like a ton of bricks. Like, he's super easy. There's nothing about this that should cause you any trouble whatsoever. Drachma's pretty happy about us winning. That's a lot of experience for such an easy fight. So everybody goes ahead and levels up, and then we got a lot of magic experience too. That is an awful lot. And then, of course, we get the Moonberry that I've been kind of waiting on for quite a while. So, easy fight, and then, of course, got a very good ending. Antonio rears up, really weird texture on his stomach, and immediately... What are you doing? Not this way! No! And immediately falls on Alfonso, or at least on his legs. Alfonso is now crippled for life. Or one would have to hope. But Doloco comments that he got what he deserved, and now he's just going to have to squish everybody anyways. And so he immediately flips a switch like a good villain should. And down come the spikes, and all of a sudden, everybody looks up to see what's going on. Curious, because the spikes aren't going anywhere. Doloco's amazed that his traps are failing, because they've never done so before. He's demanding that the traps crush him, and a vice captain comes up to say that someone has tampered with all the machines in the mines, and they are all malfunctioning. I wonder who that could be. Doloco goes absolutely nuts as usual. His suit starts sparking, and he wonders why Vice won't just die before immediately tilting amazingly on one foot before falling over. He is absolutely passed out, unable to do anything, and the vice captain tells him to get a hold of himself and wonders why he's beneath such a lunatic in the first place. Doloco indeed. Okay, now that I've done that... Oh, you know what I didn't do? Whoops, okay. Now, I am missing 2 treasure chests, 2 entirely, and we need to get them. The problem is, one of the treasure chests I'm unable to open because I did not use healing salves, and unfortunately I completely failed to use them in that fight as well. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to see if I can force a random encounter somewhere in this area, so that way I can use those 2 healing salves, grab this chest, and we can move on. I'm not sure if I can force it right now. We're going to have to see. Yeah, I can't go through that door. That sucks! Okay. This is what we're going to have to do. Oh, there we go. Fantastic, that went exactly the way I wanted it to. Let's go back here and run real quick and grab this chest. Now remember, we need to collect, I think it's something like 95% of the chests in the entire game. It might be closer to 100, I'm not exactly sure. And the problem is, a chest you don't open is a chest you didn't collect. So we gotta make sure to get that done, which is why I made such a point of coming back here and collecting that. What I'm also going to do is we're going to, before I forget, go ahead and unlock the super move for Fina, this one, which summons a storm to damages all enemies, and also, it's not a very high damage, but damages all enemies, and removes all beneficial effects from them. This includes Incrum and Incremus. This is very important, as well as Quicka and Regeneration and any other abilities they might have. It is a very cheap effect. It only costs 6 SP. You will basically always have that much SP to use. So it's a very useful thing. It's the exact same amount of SP as it costs to remove all adverse effects from allies. Alfonso wants to know why all these things happen to him. And we will go ahead and open this side of the door. And as we move through, we will find that Sentime is over here. Sup? Instant cutscene. So Sentime, he has commented that we made it out of the mines unharmed, and said he made a few adjustments to some of the machinery in the mines and asked if it helped. So he's the one who saved our asses. Yeah, so Aika's kind of surprised, and Sentime's very, happy with himself, which I completely understand. He says he opened the door to the outside, and then he must hurry back to see his family. So this man is the greatest man. He just saved all of our lives, and his family is the first thing on his mind. He's the greatest man. So, yeah, Vice says he's a good man. We're glad we could help him, and I am very glad I helped him. And we will see him in Horteca eventually. When we will. But first things first, we are not quite done in Moonstone Mines. There's one thing we have to do next. One thing left, and that involves going a long ways back this way, so I'll see you in a second after I fast forward through this. Take too long. The only reason we came back here is we got one last chest we have to pick up, and that's going to rely on me going to the left, which is something I didn't do earlier. Probably should have done, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Oh, right. It wasn't that I wasn't thinking about it, it's that I had to use this elevator. That's why I didn't go left. No. It's been a while, and I have a specific order I do this level in. I didn't want to have to come over here. Okay. So we have to go down this elevator, and it's an elevator that you're likely to miss, because you'll see it, it won't work, and yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, you'll likely go to that, elevator, not be able to use it because it's broken, and then wonder why you have to go there and forget about it later on. So we're going to receive this Moonberry. It is the final treasure chest in this area, and thank God that it is, because I am so tired of being here. I will catch you guys in a few moments when I get ourselves back to the entrance. Finally all done. We're going to be back at the entrance to the area just immediately. I just have to walk right out these doors. If you're watching the sped-up battles particularly closely, you might notice that Lambda Burst is doing a lot less damage than it normally would. Or rather, that it's just not killing people instantly. Lambda Burst is a very good attack, specifically for swarming-type enemies, because they have very low HP. But it's not very good in general otherwise. In fact, there's another AoE skill that I need to unlock soon. It's going to be Vice's skill, which is going to be either the next one I'm going to unlock or the one afterwards. It's something I need to unlock. It costs about 14 SP as opposed to Lambda Burst's 8, but it does non-elemental damage, which means it can't really be blocked, it's not magical, and it does a lot more damage than Lambda Burst does, so especially because Vice is a much higher base stat for damage. So I'm going to have to unlock that soon. For the time being, we're going to stick with Lambda Burst, mostly because it's cheap, and I can do it literally every single turn. But that's about it. So, we are happily done with Moonstone Mountain. It's not a thing I'm going to have to deal with ever again, and believe me, I am so happy for that. This is a dungeon that I hate doing literally every single time I play Skies of Arcadia. I just don't like it. It's annoying. It's boring. It's long. It's windy and twisty, and you have to redo the beginning section of it at least 5 times. Maybe 4 times. All we have to do at this point is work our way north. We got to go back to the King's Hideout, which I'm basically there anyways. It's really quick. Now that we have Isapa back, he should be able to tell us some more information about the location of the Green Crystal and the lost city of Rixis. So in we go. I believe we get an immediate cutscene as soon as we walk in. There we go. And hey, look, the big fat one's back. The King Ixataka thanks us for saving Isapa. Well, you are so welcome, Your Majesty. Just hold up your end of the deal. And Isapa thanks us for rescuing him, and he wants to thank the 2 ladies personally. Yeah, you're not being alone with them, buddy. He must return to his priestly duties, and it was nice meeting us. Aika immediately jumps in that he's supposed to tell us the location of the lost city, and this guy's laughing a little bit too much. Completely forgot. Ah ha 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 ha. Vice acts personally, with all due respect. Where did you get this guy? How can he be a high priestess? And the king looks amused. He has much knowledge in ancient scriptures and history, and just comes in a very fat and obnoxious package. He shall pass on to us the secret of the lost city that has been passed down in his family for many a generation. Eyes closed, focus. The great word with its wings spread, and the kneeling golden man will open the way. And that's about it. That's all that we have. That is all. Got it? Got it. What do you mean, that is all? We have no idea what he's talking about. Well, I mean, I do, and I'm sure you do. But he says, to be completely honest, he doesn't know what it means, that we need to solve the riddle on our own. Ah ha 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 ha. Weiss looks annoyed, and Aika comments that if he didn't know, he should have said so in the first place. We kind of got used to save Isapa. And then Athena says to listen to what he just told us. The great bird with its wings spread and the kneeling golden man will open the way. She knows what it means. The great bird with its wings spread and the kneeling golden man are probably somewhere on this continent and will point out the way to Rixis. So Weiss says if we find them, we'll find the lost city, which is basically correct, and says that we should go find the two of them. Well, we already found them. We found them on the first time we walked into Ixataka. So, we know basically exactly where they are, and we've already gotten the items we need to pick up from the two discoveries. So now, we just have to go find Rixis, which is actually really easy. But first things first, I need to find that man right there, because we need to upgrade our ship's weapons. I have a lot of money, I'm able to do it, and, yeah. Let's go buy some ship parts. So, let's see, we need to get ourselves, I guess I'm going to buy 2 G-type cannons, because they're going to upgrade my heavy cannons there. We're going to get ourselves a 5-inch cannon to upgrade our 3-inch blaster. And I'm also going to get the shock torpedo, because torpedoes are very, very helpful just in general. It's going to give me increased damage at the cost of a slight bit of hit percentage, which I'm completely okay with. We're also going to get ourselves a Prin figure to give us increased magic defense. We're going to get the bore-up kit to give us increased quick and dodge. And we're going to get the floor heater. Now, this is not an item that actually gives you any real bonus to the game, but it's important that you have it because there is a certain thing you need to do in order to get the Weiss the Sky King title, and you must have all of the really nice things for your ship. So this just takes advantage of engine heat to keep living quarters nice and comfortable. It doesn't have any actual bonus. So we're not going to use it. It's just going to kind of be there. And 6,000 gold left over. And he's commenting that we need to beat Domingo. Well, we've already done everything we need to do. So now we need to go find the Great Golden Bird, which is here. Now, if you follow the Great Bird and go basically exactly where it's pointing, you'll find the lost city of Rixis. So we're just going to go around a couple of these mountains, and we will find this stone head. I can't remember if this stone head's actually here if you haven't already gotten Isapa. I don't believe so. We have found the gates of Rixis. It's a huge stone face that stands quietly, buried in the deep forest of Ixataka. The stones have been fitted so tightly together that not even an insect could crawl between them. It's a remnant of an ancient civilization. Well, that's all nice and dandy. And if we go in here, we'll find the actual stone head itself, and next to it we find 2 miniature stone heads. Notice that the left eye is gold and the right eye is green. First things first, we want to go up here because there's a Cham right there. And then we want to go towards this left eye. So if Weiss comments there's an indentation just big enough to fit a small gem, we want to put the golden man's eye in here because it matches the golden eye. The eye glows, we made the correct decision, yay us. Move on to the other side. Once again, Weiss will comment about just being able to fit a small gem. We'll put in the great bird's eye, and it too will glow. Now that we have put in the correct eyes, all 3 will go ahead and spin right around. We spun them right round. Anyways, and now that he's done so, the great man's mouth has opened, and the way to Rixis has also opened. Fabulous stuff. Okay. And now we have the way to Rixis opened. Trying to decide. Okay. I'm gonna do the first bit of... Actually, I'm going to cut this off here, because Rixis takes... No, okay, we're going to go into Rixis. Because I have a little bit of time. I realized how short this episode has actually been. So, onto the elevator we go. It's nice and glowing. It rises. And we'll go up. So, we went from one dungeon directly into another. There is no real downtime between the two of them. As soon as we get to the top of the elevator, we notice it's very misty, and a cutscene starts pretty much immediately. and our heroes kind of step off. So they all fit onto that same elevator all together. Very creepy music in the background. Well, not creepy as much as soothing. Aka comments that they know why this place is the City of Mists, because we can't see anything. You know, we're really high up, the air is thin, it's hard to breathe, they were going up for a very long time, so these mists are probably actually clouds. This doesn't look anything like a lost city of gold, just a bunch of ruins. Fina comments in the old world Rixis was the capital of the green civilization, and it was destroyed by the rains of destruction. Since then, it's been frozen in time. Notice the big craters sitting just all around. Those would be, you know, remnants of the rains of destruction. And there goes Vice. These craters must have been caused by the moonstones that were bombarding the city. Lots of them. Now, Aka's looking around, saying she's not seeing any gold. And drop comments that as time passed, stories about the city probably got more and more exaggerated. This is basically the El Dorado of the game. We were supposed to find gold here. She just slapped that dirty old man when she had the chance. Yes, you should have. That's a very true thing. Now, Aka all of a sudden knows that there's some sort of robed man in the distance. Surprises the hell out of her. And the robed man kind of stares back. And she's amazed. She comments that the city's been dead for generations. Who is that? But by the time they turn around, there's no one there. Obviously. It's a whole Scooby-Doo thing. Vice says he doesn't see anything, and Aka says there was someone there. And Vice wonders, you know, since the city's been dead for so very long, who else could be up here? That's probably her imagination acting up. Oh, it's this whole little Marital problem. Why don't you believe me? Fina, did you think I saw a ghost? Fina looks, kind of surprised, because she has no idea what a ghost is. She's confused. Vice is grinning. Aka's exasperated. Yeah, it's been a while since I did something like that. A ghost is, it's something very scary. Fina, do you think I saw something very scary? Well, if you're this scared, this ghost must be something scary indeed. And the two things she hates the most right now are dirty old men and ghosts. It's a very topical list, you know? She doesn't want to go, she thinks they'll be cursed, and Vice is patronizing. We came all this way for the green crystal. We're not going back empty-handed. She could just wait here until they come back, and she's not going to wait here all by herself with those things out there. She fights monsters every day, but a ghost? We're not touching that. She'll go with us. She can't believe she's doing this, and that's that. So it's off we go into the wild, misty yonder. And actually, you know, Rixis is a very quick, dungeon. It is kind of big, and it's a little bit windy. This area is, in general, very windy. It also has a couple of very obnoxious fights that we have to have. Let's see, who are we getting today? So we're getting the deer. The deer are, they're not terrible. They're kind of an irritating set of fights, mostly because I think primarily they have a lot of life, and I believe they're able to cast pretty well. But, I mean, they have a little bit of resistance. That's about it. They're not hard. It's just there's usually a lot of them, as you see here. And they have a fair bit of health. So Vice and Drachma will be able to take care of them no problem. And in fact, if Vice actually had his AoE ability, which we'll gain later, this would have been a piece of cake. You know, wait 2 turns, cast that ability. The problem is he doesn't have it, so we're kind of relying on Lambda Burst, and that just doesn't do as much damage as I need it to. The deer also have the ability to cast the AoE Pyres spell, which will do a fair amount of damage, and if they all cast it, well, that, you know, everybody took, 600 damage that turn. Not something you want to have to deal with in the middle of just coming into this place. And of course, standard attacks. I mean, none of this, why do these deer have fire spells? I don't get it. I don't either. I don't know why they spit fire breath. I mean, this is just this whole, these are monsters. They don't have intelligence and design flaws, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and continue what we were doing. I really need to change off Drachma's weapon, I think. He's not going to hit anything with that big ball attached to his arm. It's too heavy. It's swinging him around. We swung him right. Nope, not doing that again. Luckily, Vice does have the ability to counter really well, so that should keep him from having too much trouble. Notice that for some reason, Aka's turn went last this time, which is really weird. She's supposed to be basically the fastest character on our team, and yet she went basically last. Drachma, went last, but I mean, he's the big fat man with the gigantic weighted ball on his hand. There's not really much we could do about that. Yes, we did, Drachma. Yes, we did. So we'll go ahead and get all of our bonuses. Vice is getting really close to getting the next level red spell, which, Oh, Pyrum is... Oh, I recall something. I made a mistake last episode. Pyrum is not the high... Or the UM spell is not the highest level spell in the game. It's Rulin. Pyrulen is the highest level red spell. I made that mistake. Sacrulen, things like that. So, yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I'm sorry about that. We might not be getting Inkrum immediately. It might be a while. The next type of enemy that we have to face are these totem poles. Generally, I mean, these guys are not... They're numerous. I believe they're almost swarmer types. Almost. There's a lot of them. But there's nothing really special about them. They just kind of assess damage. They have some various attacks they'll do. But, these guys aren't scary. There tend to be a lot of them. And I believe they have a little bit of, they have some pretty decent defenses. Maybe my memory's not as good as I thought it was. Well, hopefully Aka can take them all out. Oh, yeah, these guys have no health whatsoever. Huh, there you go. I wonder if they're mage types. I think I usually kill them before they can do anything. But, yeah. So we're just going to continue working our way up this little area here. And I'm going a different way than I typically do, I think. No, this is right. That's right, because there's this... You can't go up the right-hand side because you can't go any further because the big pit's going. That's it. I'm going the right way. I know what I'm doing. So we'll be using a lot of those little elevators that go across like that. The last type of enemy I have to talk about, I mean, the Swarmers, we know them. We see Swarmers all the time. So the Swarmers are nothing special. The big special thing is this big guy, this gigantic freaking sloth thing. The big green one right there. Lots of health, lots of defense, has a big AoE Quake spell, which is a big pain in the ass and does a lot of damage. So watch out for them. Take them out as fast as you can. I would even use, like, Cutlass Fury on these guys. Damn, how did he dodge that? And I really need to switch over, Drachma's weapon, huh? But yep, big attack in Aka's face. Other than... Oh, and right, it has additional effect. Confused! That's actually really bad. Drachma dealt a fair amount of damage there. I may actually leave Drachma's weapon on and have him just do a tackle. Simply because, we can't do tackle. That's a pain. So what I'll do is I'll do a Cutlass Fury. Drachma will change weapons to the Deloco Drill. And who knows, we might get the actual additional effect here. Not that it matters. We're going to get a decent amount of experience. Vice is going to learn his next spell soon, which is going to be fantastic. I'm probably going to stick with the red spells pretty much literally until we get Incremus, because there's almost no reason for me to worry about anything else. Every other spell, except for the silver spells, is basically worthless to me at this point. I'm only going to do the silver spells because Risalim crystals are extremely expensive. There we go. Vice is, very quickly becoming our main damage dealer. He already was, but he's going to very swiftly rise up the ranks on that one. A lot of experience, and we continue to move on. I'm just trying to remember if there's a chest down here, because this area does have a number of chests I want to make sure to catch. Yep, there's the first one. Risen crystals ×3. We were just talking about those things, except I was talking about Risalim crystals. Risen crystal is, it's a thing. It's not a very important thing, but it's a thing. This area is a little bit obnoxious. It's leveling up nice and fast now. So I'm just going to check every nook and cranny. This area can be obnoxious because you're going to end up going through a lot of individual little areas, a lot of individual little rooms. And the problem with this is that you have to go and just double check to make sure that you got everything. It's very easy to miss Chams and chests. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss any chests here. Not because this area is as obnoxious as, say, the last, but I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. And I must have, because I went the... Did I go the wrong way? Hold on, I'm trying to remember. This one always gets me. If I remember correctly, I have to go this way and through the back. No? I said this. Oh, I know. I know. There goes Rice, picking up Hyrule, and I remember what I did. You have to go this way and go out and up. That's all. So yeah, we're still trying to remember where everything is. Seems like the spawn system's kicking into overdrive, giving us all these enemies, but that's cool. Just checking over here, making sure there's no, there we go. Got ourselves a Stonecutter. This is a weapon for Vice. It's a lot more powerful sword than the one we're running currently. Gives an additional 12 damage or so, which is pretty important. Apparently it was used for masonry work to actually cut stones, as the name suggests. Nope, wrong set of stairs here, so we're just going to keep on moving on and into another fight. Okay, let's continue on. Almost done with this particular part of the area. Just gotta move up these steps, and we will be out of the first half of Rixis, thankfully. Should have a little bit of a cutscene right here. We're moving between two areas, and above us, you'll notice there is a man. Amazing. Now, oddly enough, even though it's Vice who sees him, I don't believe Vice actually remembers about this later on down the line. Got another treasure chest over here, and this one's going to contain 2 Sacrulen crystals. If I remember correctly, Sacrulen is going to be our next step up on healing, but I can't remember if that's the heal all or heal it party. Sure what Eiko was so happy about just now. Vice actually killed Fina. Just now. Stabbed her. And that is why confusion can be a scary, scary thing in this game. Okay, let's go ahead and use some magic droplets. Get, Eiko her mana back. Awesome. And then we'll start moving on to this area. This area is actually pretty easy. It's just there's a number of, elevators that are moving around, and we just got to explore the houses on the left and the right, and we just have to follow the elevators. I mean, that's really all there is to it. This one's, you just got to keep track of kind of where you have been in the recent past, just because you can get mixed up if you haven't checked everywhere. You definitely want to make sure to check everywhere, because there are Chams in this area. So one thing we want to do, because speaking of Chams, there is one, and I need to go get it. It's going to be up these stairs, right up here, at the top of those stairs. I don't think this is a Cham that upgrades Cupel, though. I think, yeah, we're not quite there yet. Should be there within 1 or 2 more Chams. Down, and we get to go downstairs and continue going through that treasure chest that I had skipped just now. So we have to go and have a fight. This is going to be another one of our Xivilin Bane fights. That's the second one we've had. And it's just about the same as the first. Lots of damage that we have to worry about. Burst is just as big of a deal now as it has been in the recent past. We want to make sure to avoid Burst at all costs. And then basically just pile as much damage on as we can. For the most part, the Ziblin Banes do not change per, from fight to fight. They just tend to have better stats, in general. So hopefully it looks like it's going towards Vice. Okay, so as you notice, 1,000 damage off burst. It is a lot of damage, and we want to make sure to curb that about as much as we can. Just have Fina focus. Make sure that you have a ton of, SP going. Drachma and Vice can take care of the Bane for the most part. Just going to do a bunch of damage here. I'd like to get Drachma to actually be able to do a tackle at some point as well as Vice's Cutlass Wrath. But the thing about it is that Vice is very quickly overtaking Drachma when it comes to damage. He gets there very, very quickly. And by the time you reach this sort of this level of the game, the fact that you can do Cutlass Fury every turn without having to sacrifice, say, Fina's ability to use a, healing spell, as opposed to Drachma's Tackle, where you have to, you can only use that once every 2 turns at best. This becomes quickly the better way, just to go with Vice's Cutlass Fury for 7 SP and do, say, 1,300 damage, as opposed to 10 SP to do Drachma's 1,500. That will take out the Bane. Wasn't all that hard, thankfully, and we will continue moving on. We're getting there very, very quickly. So just because we beat the Bane, we will also we'll get a lot of experience, of course, and we'll get some more magic strength. We'll also get a seed. The Maga Seed will increase MP by 1, and we receive the Golden Mask, which is the second one of our specialty drops. Okay, so we want to make sure that in each of these houses, we just check each room, because there are other treasure chests, like this one. 1186 gold. And then we need to come over to here, so that way we can actually get the elevator over here. Here it comes. And it's not even a timing thing. You just got to make sure you're stepping forward at the right time. Like, it's not like an incredible, oh my god, I must catch the elevator. It's if you're pressing forwards when it comes up, it will stop for you. And it will stop when you get off. Easy stuff. And as we continue, we're going to go into this room to get yet another treasure chest, which contains an item that I really want, a Moonberry. And now we can actually move over to Vice and get his next super move, which is Rain of Swords. And that's going to be his all enemies on screen super move that will cost 14 SP. We're finally at a time where we're going to get that in 2 turns as opposed to 3 or more, so it's a good time to use it. Next chest here is going to contain the light coat, which is, if I remember correctly, a good, it's a good equip for the girls. And, yeah, I think I'm going to give this one to Aika. Yeah, she's using Fire Roper too. Can I give it? Oh, I can. Okay, never mind. It's just for Fina. Okay. So I wanted to give Aika faster quick, and better dodge because, she can use her spells quicker, heal faster, things like that. We are getting close to being done here. If you come back in this direction, you'll find this particular pad. And this pad right next to it is a Moonfish. Right there. If you take this pad, however, it's just going to take you immediately to the end of the area. Or not the end of the area, but the beginning of the area. So it's not necessarily the place you want to go. And then we next want to go onto this place right here. I think. Am I going to the wrong place? I might be. Oh, crap. I missed the... Because I was not looking in the right direction, I missed the thing. One of these elevators will bring you to a chest, which is this one apparently, and the other one brings you to the end of the area. So let's go here. We receive the Ruin Arm, which is for Drachma. It is a really good really good upgrade to the Loco Drill, pretty much immediately after we got the Loco Drill. Doesn't have any secondary effect, but it is a fairly large upgrade to his damage. And we missed the elevator again. But, guys, we are almost done with this area. And it's really that quick. This is, I guess, because they realized they needed to have a ruin to give us a chance to get the crystal, but they didn't want to have to give us another huge thing just so quickly after we did Moonstone Mountain. They made this one really quickly. And very quick. Oh, that was a long fight. Let me go ahead and get everybody healed up, because fights almost got taken out there. Mostly because I haven't been paying any real attention to the fights. I've just been going boost forwards, basically. The fights, unfortunately, went last in that fight, and it cost us just a little bit. Okay, so last thing here. I'm going to double-check this real quick, because I don't remember if there is a treasure chest over here as well. Yes, there is. Okay, this is the last one for the Icyl seed. I'm going to go ahead and use the seeds real quick, because I've been building up a lot of them that I haven't used. So let's go ahead and use the Icyl seed. Increase will by 3, which will give to Fina. The Magus seed increases max MP by 1, also to Fina. And didn't I have another seed somewhere? Guess not. Okay, so we're almost done. We got one last thing to do before we head over to the boss, and this will be also the last thing I do before cutting this episode, because I think it's going to run long, from what I can tell. So what we're going to do is we're going to rush forward into here. And this is where things get interesting. Because as we move in, we'll find this ghost of ours. And, that's the ghost Fina saw, or Aka saw earlier, but if we run towards the ghost, he will immediately run away. So in order to stop the ghost, he'll always run in a direction directly away from you. Well, the good thing is, this area is a big square, so if you try to run after him, you're just going to usher him just around. But if you push him into that next area like I did, and then come at him from the side like this, you will immediately send him in the direction he needs to go. And this will, stop things a lot faster than you would otherwise. If you try to do it any other way, you're just going to run around in circles a lot. So he'll immediately put a gem inside of the eye of that machine, and he'll bring this particular little elevator over. We'll chase him over, he'll get away temporarily, but the elevator will, of course, come back to me almost immediately afterwards. So don't worry, this guy's not going to get away, but I may have trouble hitting the elevator because the camera angle all of a sudden changed. No big deal. Here's our elevator. And we will come around this corner to find that he is riding an elevator right there, going straight up. Well, that's just not going to do, right? So we got to immediately jump on this fellow elevator, because apparently there's 2 for some reason, and we will continue going up. At some point, there's going to be no more oxygen. We're going to be at 30,000 feet. I worry about that sort of thing, don't you? Up above the highest of the clouds, and we have this gigantic, temple thing. And if I remember, somewhere around here there's a save point. Well, there we go. So we'll head on over here, we'll hit the save point, and as you know, incongruous save points, for no particular reason, always means a boss fight, which means the next episode will start with one. A boss fight, that is. But I will see you guys next time to do that. Ta-ta.